Good morning. Welcome back to Acres of Clay. Last night I was out in the garden and I noticed that there were some little cucumbers, just maybe 3-4 inches long. And there aren't very many, but I'm going to pick the ones that are bigger so that can continue to encourage the growth. Then when I get them picked, I'm going to show you how I make, it's a refrigerator pickle. It's called Sunshine Dills. And so it's a dill pickle, and they can keep in the refrigerator for a really long time. They are one of my kids' favorite pickles. So I'm gonna pick these, and we'll see how many I get. I'm hoping to get maybe a gallon because I like to make them in a gallon-sized jar. So most of them are gonna be like this size. I only ended up with about a dozen pickles or cucumbers, and so I think what I'm going to do, I'm still going to make the dill pickle recipe, but I'm going to add some green beans, maybe some peppers, and well, let's go look around the garden and see what else we can throw in there that we can pickle. I'm back from the garden and I'm in the kitchen and I have everything prepared, washed, and ready to go to make sunshine dill pickles. So first of all, I'm going to show you everything that I harvested from the garden that I'm going to throw in the pickle brine, and then I'm going to show you how I make it. So here's the cucumbers that I'm going to use. I also harvested some of these Mexican sour cucumbers. They're really little, as you can see. They're the size of my fingernail. And then I have just a couple peppers I'm going to throw in. Usually if I have nice big bell peppers, I'll throw those in, or sometimes I'll throw a jalapeno or a hot pepper in it for a little spice, but you don't have to have that. I have an onion. I didn't get that from the garden though. And I'm also going to throw in a few beans to see how much, I'll see how much room I have in my jar, but I have some of my different variety of beans. I have a couple noodle beans. We're going to just try those to see if we like those pickled, or even if they hold up very well. If they get soft, then nobody will probably eat them. I also have just a couple cucumbers. These aren't pickling cucumbers. These are just like, this one's the dragon egg and the apple, the crystal apple. Those, I'm not sure if those will pickle well, so I may just throw a couple in. They may get soft, so I'm not sure, but if I have room, I'm going to actually try a couple slices of that. I also harvested some dill. This recipe doesn't really tell you how much dill to put in your mixture, so I just have 3 spears of it. Alright, so that's what we got from the garden. Okay, so I have myself a gallon size jar. This is just had pickles or olives or something in at one time. Sometimes I find these at garage sales for real cheap to nothing, so I like to pick them up and just store things in. What I'm going to start with is the cucumbers. I'm actually going to quarter these and then stick them in. You can cut the ends off. It doesn't matter. I probably won't for this time around. I have washed these, so I'm just going to put them in like spears. I've already washed them and they're ready to go. Alright, I've cut up maybe half of them and put them in the bottom. Now to that, I'm going to just mix it up a little, so I'm going to throw in some of the sour gherkin and probably this pepper. So I'm going to actually cut this up also. Maybe remove some of the seeds. Yeah, I'll just take the seeds right out. This isn't a hot pepper, it's just a sweet pepper. And I'm going to throw in a few beans. And my onion. This recipe also calls for garlic, but I'm not adding garlic to mine. Again, this recipe doesn't have measurements as far as how much onion you put in or how many cucumbers or anything. It's just kind of up to you and your flavor. So I've just roughly chunked these up, and then I'm going to put half of it in. So it looks like that. Alright, now to that I'm going to add some of this fresh dill. I'm going to cut it up. I think it releases some of its flavor better when it's in pieces. Alright, then we'll keep going. I love the smell of canning pickles. Okay, that's all the cucumbers I have for today. So now I'm just going to throw in the rest of my stuff. This pepper, I'll just put it in whole. Same with this one. Okay, I'm going to cut these noodle beans, or the yard-long beans. I'm going to cut them probably like a regular bean size, just so they fit in the jar better. Okay, my jar still has, here, I'm not sure if you can see it, quite a bit of room for a little bit more. So I'm going to actually put these cucumbers in on the top, and we'll just see how well they hold up with in the brine. I'm going to spear them like that, I guess. Okay, that should be pretty good. Move it over so you can see it. Put some more dill in there. Again, it's really up to your preference of how much dill you want, how much garlic you want to add, how much onion. And you don't have to put onion, you don't have to put garlic in it if you don't like it. So I choose not to do the garlic just because everybody smells like garlic after they've eaten these. So I try not to. So that's my excuse. So okay, now this jar is got all its yummies in it, and I'm going to set that aside a minute and make the brine part. So for the brine, I'm actually going to mix it in another jar. Let me move this out of the way. Alright, so for the brine, I'm going to use another gallon jar. And I have this measuring bowl. This holds 8 cups. I need 6.5 cups of cold water. I'm using tap water. Okay, so I have 6.5 cups of cold water, and I'm going to pour it in this gallon jar. Okay, now to the water, we are going to add vinegar. Now when you're choosing vinegar, I like just the white vinegar, but you want to make sure that somewhere on it says 5% acidity. If it says less than that, 4 or something, I probably wouldn't use it for canning or pickling. So we need 6 1/4 cups. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this. And then 1/4 cup. That looks good. Okay, so that's 6 1/4 cup of vinegar. Now I'm sure you could use apple cider vinegar if you like that, but my family prefers the white vinegar. Okay, now to this I am going to add 2/3 cup of salt. I'm going to add 2/3 cup of salt. So I'm going to set this aside. And I have just canning pickling salt. And it seems like a lot of salt, but it helps preserve this, and that's what helps these stay fresh in the refrigerator for a very long time. Okay, I'm going to pour that right into this brine. And the last ingredient you're going to need is what's called alum. Okay, so can you see that? It's alum. Usually you can pick up alum in your grocery store in the spice section. It may come in just a little jar, but I get mine bulk, and because I use it a lot for pickling. This is going to help the everything keep its crunch. So you need only 1 teaspoon. Give this a little stir. Okay. Now all you have to do is pour it over our pickles. Now I have just a little bit left over in the bottom of this. This can go in the refrigerator and you can use it the next time you make sunshine dills. So don't throw this away unless you're never going to make them again. But this will last for quite a while, a couple weeks in the refrigerator just fine. Then I have a lid. I'm going to stick this outside in the sunshine. I just stick it out on my deck. I'm going to stick it outside in the sunshine for 2 to 3 days. And then I'm going to bring it inside and put it in the refrigerator. After that, they're ready to go. Usually after 2 days, you can taste them to see if they are, if they're ready. If they need another day, leave them outside. I've left them outside probably 4 days, and they're still fine. So if you forget about them, don't worry about that. These will last in your refrigerator for a very long time. We've had them for almost a whole year. So I made, not last year, but I think the year before, I made so many that I had them in a spare refrigerator, and I had just jugs and jugs of these. Only I sliced them for hamburgers, and they lasted for a very long time. So they probably say 3 to 6 months, but really these can last a long time as long as they're covered with the brine. Well, I hope you guys give this recipe a try. The recipe says that it makes enough brine for 4 to 5 quarts. So if you don't have a big gallon jar like this, you can by all means use quart jars. You can also shrink this recipe as needed, or you can double it, triple it as well. If you have any questions about this recipe, leave it in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer it. Now, of course, you can add any type of vegetable that you want. I've added carrots, onions. I don't think I've ever done celery. You could probably put cauliflower in here. That would be really good. I thought about it, but I didn't have any quite ready in the garden yet, so maybe next time. Yeah, so whatever vegetables you like, you can throw in. If you just want your pickles, just put pickles in it. It's kind of a pretty much fail-proof pickle recipe, and it's delicious. So hope you guys give this a try, and if you have a favorite pickle recipe you'd like to share with me, please do. I'm always excited to try new recipes. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you're having a very blessed day. Until next time, take care.